What's going on, YouTube? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Welcome to Texas Podcast. Thank you for all the day ones, all the new subscribers, all the likes, comments, feedback. Thank you so much. It's greatly appreciated. Hopefully, everybody's having a good Saturday out there. It's hot, sweaty. Uh, but other than that, it's a good day. So, how's everybody out there doing today in YouTube world or their side of town? I just wanted to do a quick little live, you know what I mean, while I'm outside. It's kind of hot, you know. Like I said before, think I need to get some kind of a contraption built out here with some kind of like mosquito nets and stuff like that. Real hot out here. So I just wanted to touch up on it, right? Because what happened to doing the right thing, because it was the right thing to do, and not expecting nothing in return, right? Not expecting any kind of a monetary gain, right? If it happens, it happens. But if you're doing it for a good cause, you shouldn't really be looking for it in a financial return. It's good, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, you know. If you're able to, get extra money, why not, man? What's wrong with it, right? But when you prioritize, when you put money in front of everything, in front of your morals and your standards and whatever you believe in, right? You know that saying, all money ain't good money. So a lot of people, I guess, are delusional, right? And you start thinking, man, why do people think that YouTube is so profitable, man? Well, at least to sell your integrity, right? Like to lower your standards and lower your integrity, offer a few pennies, right? Like I do it because it's right? I speak up on what these guys are doing because Dante and Mark are, they're cut from the same cloth. They're one. You can't speak with the other without mentioning the other, right? Dante brought Mark out here to the masses. He profited it. He exploited him. He protected him, right? And now all of a sudden, Mark's the apex predator. I guess he's like these guys like doing funny things for money. You know what I mean? And it's everybody. You know what I mean? It's everybody. You see people's true colors. You see people's true intentions, right? You sometimes you utilize the messenger, knowing that the messenger is going to show other people the messages. So you type in those messages for you can send them subliminal messages to the people that are going to read it, right? Other than the messenger. But I realize people don't do it out of their kindness of their heart. They don't do it. They don't do it because it's the right thing to do, right? They don't do it. If they're gonna jump on the bandwagon, it's for what can I get out of it, right? What's my agenda? What's my goal into doing this, right? And you say certain things, and people you start realizing people's true intentions and true nature, right? You just put it out there, set it out there, let the ball roll, and then you see because there's been plenty of people in the comments telling me, hey, don't pay Hips nothing, man. Why are you paying Hips? Hips should be doing this out of his kind of his heart. He should be speaking up for what's right without even getting compensated, right? That's the right thing to do, right? You're gonna speak up on stuff without uh thinking about getting compensated, right? You're gonna speak up on the truth, and you're not gonna bend it for nobody. Even even if you're not making no money off of it, right? Even if you're not making no money off of it. See, everybody has their own agenda. This is what I would like. I would like for God Soldier and Youngblood to hold uh a religion a religion topic, right? That would be very interesting to see uh some content about religion. You know what I mean? I would love to see that. I would love to see NS and God Soldier and Youngblood all have a conversation about religion. I would tune in for that. That would be a very interesting topic, very interesting content. That would be right there. Very, because the same people that are telling you come over here. Once you get to talk to them about some serious topics, they're going to show you their true colors. What was God Soldier saying about the Muslims? What does God Soldier take about the Muslims? Right? When they found out that Youngblood was a Muslim, they clowned him, right? They clowned him. Oh, the Muslims do this, the Muslims do that, the Muslims this, the Muslim that. We Christians are the holy rollers, right? So the same people that are telling you to come over here and hang out, it's hypocritical degenerates. You know what I mean? Because these are the same guys that attack your true character. And don't let NS get in the conversation. That's why Dante doesn't like Youngblood, right? Because NS, the main supporter, doesn't like Muslims. So that's I would like to see that type of content. Them talking about the religion. I've seen them do it. I've seen them do it with the Christianity, but I would like to see them with Youngblood in there. And I would like to see everybody's true colors when the religion gets in place. Because you know what they say, man. You know, a lot of things, it's, politics and religion bring out true people's true colors. Politics and religion. I want to see how people that are so opposite and believe in so opposites, can they have cordial? That's what I want to know. I would like to see that. I would like to see that because these same characters that want to kumbaya are the same ones that attack people for their personal beliefs. That's what I would like to see because I know when everybody was trying to dox Youngblood and dox his daughter and harass his people, everybody said, "Well, ain't you a Muslim? Ain't you a Muslim? Muslims this, Muslims that." They like to say a lot of things about the Muslims, right? About their prophet. But these are the same type of people that were defended Mark. It's sad, man. What money makes people do, and I don't think they make too much money, man. They make pennies on the dollar. I mean, for you to sell your integrity and get on the knees and just basically bend over for anybody just for pennies, I don't do it, man. I don't do it. I don't do it for the fame or for the money. Don't get me wrong, man. If you can make a penny off of it, hey, so be it, man. But that's not my number one motivator, right? It's nice if it comes with it, you know, but sometimes when you really care about things, it doesn't hurt when you come out of pocket, right? It doesn't bother you, man. Because you know what? You're doing a good deed, man. And every good deed gets repaid back tenfold down the road. So I'm not worried about that, right? If I have a few extra bucks that I can spend on some software to speak my voice and talk about these guys' actions and characters and statements, then why not? Why not? I'm not expecting to become the next best, uh, the great content creator or to blow up. No, I'm happy, man. I'm content in my life, right? Who don't want more? I'd be lying to you if I tell you I don't want more, right? Shit, who don't want more? Everybody wants more. But at the same time, I'm not going to bend my morals. I'm not going to become a degenerate. You know what I mean? I'm not going to. I'm not going to exploit people. I'm not going to groom anybody or gaslight them for a penny. That's no different than what Mark was doing, exploiting his victims in prison. Dante's doing the same thing, man. Let me see. Let me get this one out the way. You see, let's talk about this. Emotional blackmail, gaslighting, positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, coercion, guilt tripping, gaslighting, intimidation, grooming. The list goes on, right? These are all Dante's tactics, right? He has so many accounts that he tries to give you positive and negative reinforcement. He gaslights you. He emotionally blackmails you, right, without even having any kind of evidence. It's like when I'm Mark and myself are victims of Dante's boo game, right? If you want to, if you want to see it that way, I am, and so is Mark, a victim of Dante's social media tactics, right? I've been doxxed, I've been intimidated, I've been gaslighted, I've been even through when he knew he did not hack me, what did he say? I have this thumbnail with all kinds of gruesome stuff, right? He still, even through he knew he didn't hack me, right? He still wanted to spew that narrative out there, right? So it's no different than what Mark was telling those white boys in there. Yeah, you're going to do this. Your people are going to cash at me, or I'm going to break your jaw, right? So no different than all the messages that I was getting from people saying that they were going to pull up. They got my address. They stay in my area. Uh, no different, right? If you put these guys side by side, they have the same military mind tactics, right? They're both apex predators, right, in their environments. But if you take them out of your environment, as you can see, Mark can't survive taking them out of his environment and putting them in Dante's environment. And I guarantee you, Dante will not be able to exist and survive in Mark's environment. So both of them, right, are apex predators in their environment. But you take them out of their normal habitat and put them in a different habitat, they will become extinct, right? They're both apex predators. They're both exploit the vulnerable and the weak. All by these military tactics, military mind games, right? Right? He calls it military mind games. Mark calls it the boo game. But it all leads to the same thing, right? Gaslighting, grooming, intimidation, blackmail, positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement. It all leads back to him being a narcissist, self-preservation. He is no different than what Mark is. Him and Mark are one. They go hand in hand. Just different habitats, right? There's apex predators from the sea. There's apex predators from the ground, and there's apex predators from the air, right? You remove them from the natural habitat and put them in another habitat. If there's a bigger predator there, what's going to happen? They're going to go extinct, man. They're going to go extinct. So as you can see, Mark can't survive in Dante's environment, right? He can't. He's being tossed around, left around, bent over, sold off. Everything Mark did to his boys, Dante did to him tenfold. Ain't that a bitch? Everything Mark did to his boys, Dante is doing to him. I'm a victim of Dante's manipulation and tactics, right? And so is Mark. Y'all wanted victims? There goes the victims. These are true fact victims that anybody that's been tuning in has witnessed. I'm not making stuff up. It's kind of sad that I've never been a victim in my life till I ran into Dante. I've never been a victim, but just like myself and Mark, we stepped out of our natural habitat, right? We stepped out of our natural habitat because just like Mark is an apex predator, I'm kind of an apex predator too. You know what I mean? I'm like one of them little Tasmanian devils. So if you would throw me and Mark in the same environment, I will survive, right? But you throw me and Mark into the social media boo game, this military mind games, y'all see what happens. Y'all seen it. I've been a victim. Mark's been a victim. You got to call a duck for a duck, right? And it's kind of sad here that I have to admit that I'm a victim. I've never been a victim, man, but I'm a victim of Dante. Everything, the emotional blackmail. Didn't he have a hack drive of so much gruesome stuff that he was holding over my head for me to stop talking about him and Mark? Mark, doesn't him and June have so much stuff about you that they're going to use it against you, or they're trying to? The coercion, the calling everybody behind the scenes, and basically the grooming, right? The positive and the negative reinforcement is Dante and all his comments accounts talking you up, talking you down, talking you up, talking you down, talking you up, talking you down. And it's him. Intimidation, doxing, right? Doxing you, dropping your location, guilt tripping, gaslighting. It's everything he's done and more. I'm surprised nobody has taken the call on him and said, hey, I support Dante. Fuck Noel. I'm going to go ride for Dante. But now all of a sudden he's on the right path. He's the holy roller, right? But see, in reality, he surrounded himself with fanatics like himself. NS is a fanatic. NS cannot stand Muslims. NS cannot stand Muslims 10 times worse than what God Soldier can't stand them. And that's the honest truth. If y'all feel I'm lying, prove me wrong. Let NS and Youngblood host a religion topic. I would love to see that. Don't exclude anybody based off the religion. And I want you to tell them the way you feel about the Muslims, because I've heard you speak about them before on plenty times. That's what I would love to see. There would be some great content, and it'll be good for the soul. That would be good for the soul, man, because I'm on the back. You know, I'm on the fence on what religion. I'm at this time and place in my life, I'm just trying to live my life by the 10 Commandments. That's how I'm trying to live my life, by those 10 Commandments, man. If I go by those 10 laws, I think I should be all right. I've never coveted thy neighbor. I'm never worried about what the next man got. Never have, never will. I'm too busy doing me. But that's why I've been dropping videos left and right. Chop them up. I'm going to continue dropping them off left and right, right? I don't care about this. As you can see, man, I make peanuts, right? I make peanuts. So for everybody that's out there thinking that I do it for the money, I don't do it for the money, man. I still haven't even made my money back off that DVD. Hey, but like I said, man, when God knows you're doing something from your heart, that you're trying to help somebody that's going through something as we speak right now, right? Why not, man? Why not? Right? Why not? If I have a few extra bucks after all my bills are paid, instead of spending it on some baseball cards or something that are just going to sit there, put it out there, man, to where, you know, at least I'm doing something good, right? I'm letting the world know that these two guys are no different than from what they are from each other. They're both apex predators, just in different environment. Watch yourself. Watch yourself. Because he's like a rattlesnake. You know, he'll 180 and attack you. You'll be 360. By the time you know it, he's biting you. He's a snake, man. He's a snake. But he surrounded himself with a lot of people, man, that they're not too smart. Or they have their own agenda, right? Because even if he's making money, he still has to break too many people off. Well, then I don't even think he's making money, man, because that's the whole argument that June and Mark had. That whole little lovers quarrel that they had was because I think Dante paid $300 to Mark, and he gave June $75, or he gave June $150, and Mark got $75 out of a month's revenue. So you lose your credibility and your integrity, right? For a few pennies. But then again, you boast about going to Dubai, Lambos. Everybody's going to see you in your drop top. You ain't got no more hair, so the air ain't going to go through it. You might get sunburned now if you're in a drop top. So you can't do a drop top no more. You know, you can't do a drop top. But you can still be like Tupac, picture me rolling, right? Isn't that what you were throwing in everybody's face? Belittling everybody, that you're moving on to bigger and better things, that everybody's on YouTube is still a peon. You're moving on to Tubi and NBC, and everybody else can kiss your ass, right? You were like the Jeffersons, moving on up. Fuck everybody else, right? But at the cost of what? How were you moving up in life? Were you moving up in life by the hard work of your back and the sweat dripping off your forehead? Or were you coming off being exploitative, gaslighting, grooming, intimidating the vulnerable and the weak? You know, when I say the vulnerable and the weak on social media, you take advantage of the people that are not to social media. Same thing. Basically, this is your world. Social media is your world. You have inserted yourself this is like your matrix, right? This is like your matrix. This is you. YouTube is you. You sleep, eat shit, YouTube, right? That's you. And how did you get there? How did you get there? Off the backs and sweat of your own people, right? Because first you were attacking me because who cares? Why is there a Mexican from Texas talking about Mark? Why he could be over there in Texas and being the voice for the Latino people? Who cares what the black man did to the white man in prison? Everybody, everybody that was on their stomachs with their feet back up, twiddling, was agreeing with you then. And these same cowards and spineless peons are co-signing you again. Instead of one of somebody in your crew trying to hold you accountable, man, like, hey, man, like, hey, you making this look bad, bro. But I forgot. You're an apex predator on social media, right? Where you know you're not going to be touched, right? Where you can sit behind your fucking shack and groom, intimidate, and exploit people, right? That's why you do it, right? Because if you were to step on an our apex world, either the prison or the streets, you know you wouldn't survive, right? So you're safe in your little matrix, right? Nobody's dumb enough. I was almost dumb enough to do it, right? I was almost dumb enough to show you. But thank God, uh, he slowed me down. You know what I mean? Thank God. You know what I mean? So you're comfortable. You know what I mean? You're comfortable in your little matrix. But people got to see that Mark and Dante are the same, man. Just different environments, same tactics. Same manipulation. I'm sad to say that I am a victim of Dante's manipulation in boot game, right? And he has confirmed it because everything he did was confirmed that he made me a victim. Now he's jumping on the bandwagon and say, "Hey, Noel was right? Noel was right. Everything Noel was saying about Mark is an apex predator. Same behavior, right? He goes from being a power top to being a power bottom. They flip flop, right? They flip flop easily, just like Mark flip flops, man. They're both apex predators of their own environment, right? It's sad, man. At least Mark, at least Mark had some genuine remorse to where he reached out to the victims, right? He wrote the victim's letter. His guilty conscience wasn't letting it get to him, right? He couldn't sleep in prison, right? Knowing that he had fucked up these guys' lives, that he would at least write these guys' letter. And that's even more fucked up too. You know, sodomizing these guys and doing and having your way with them, and then thinking in a letter, an apology, a Dear John letter is gonna make them feel better. That's even fucking more creepier. That's even more creepier, man. But like I said, birds of a feather flock together. These were the same type of guys that were going to bat for each other. Yeah, Dante. Yeah, Dante. Yeah, Mark. Stroking each other up, right? They were both stroking each other. Nah, Mark, you're gonna be the next best thing on content creator, man. You're gonna blow up, man. We're gonna get you merch. We're gonna get you this. We're gonna get you that. All to come around to start photoshopping pictures of poor innocent white folks that ain't got nothing to do with, right? Their pictures on social media getting involved with a apex predator, like how they name Mark, right? I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. What's going on, Jack? I just here a little bit. I'm probably doing live off the computer. That way, we can watch some of these old videos, right? Some of these old videos where these guys were fucking defending Mark, and all of a sudden show their true colors over what? I want to know. I mean, what changed? I mean, nobody has given anything. No, I haven't seen any explanation of why all of a sudden they wanted to be on the right side. Why they want to speak the truth? I just want to know what was it? Because you didn't care about the white people. It can't be that you care about the white people because we clearly heard him say he don't care what the black man does to the white man in prison, and you double down, right? So you can't say that you care about the whites. You don't care about the victims because you victim shame. What is your real agenda? That's what I want to know. What are you doing it for? I'm doing it for the truth. I'm not doing it for no money. You can see right there, I don't do it for the money. I don't do it for the money, man. If anybody that's trying to get into social media or YouTube and think that YouTube's going to pay your bills, think again, man. Think again. YouTube is for you to do something you care about, a hobby, and you want to show it and you want to share it with YouTube, right? That's what YouTube is for. Now, if you can get paid and recognized for your time, that's extra, man. That's extra. That's just the icing on the cake, right? I don't do it for revenue. I do it because it's the right thing to do. That's why when a lot of people say, a lot of people have the definition of a hero. You know, to me, if you get paid to do a job and you receive benefits to do this job, I don't consider you no hero, right? You're no different than a blue collar worker that throws his back out, providing for his family, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what you're doing. You're being a provider for your family, right? A hero to me is somebody that does it out of their kindness or their heart, right? That jumps into a burning building trying to save lives, knowing that that's not his job, but he felt it in his heart to go in there, to risk his own life and save somebody else's. That's a hero, right? That's the definition of a true hero, right? Somebody that's doing it not for no uh accolades or monetary gain, right? They're just doing it because it's in their heart. That's a hero to me, man. You know, not somebody that gets paid and gets benefits, and just because you lose a part of your arm or body, now you're a hero. No, I call that just that's part of the job, man. That's no different than the blue collar throwing his back out being a provider. You're being a father and a husband, right? But you chose that career. the same thing, man. I don't consider myself no content creator. I don't expect to get no plaque, right? My goals in life are not to get no plaque or hit no milestone or accomplishment. That's not my goal, right? That's not. I'm not shooting for that. I'm not waking up every day to, you know, that's not my motivation. My motivation is to do the right thing, man. To speak on people's actions and facts, right? That's it. But at the same time, man, there's a lot of people that are seeking attention seekers, man. They just, I don't know what it is. It's just the having the validation of people that you don't know, right? I guess the interaction, like I don't know, the gaslighting, the flirting. People are so sometimes I'm in lives and I look at the people and it's the same people, man. Like, don't they have any lives? This YouTube has consumed people, man, and they've used it all for the wrong thing. Because people nowadays, it's not really for what YouTube is meant for, man. Everybody thinks that that's the next. It's like the army, right? Everybody's quick uh quick way in life is joining the army, right? A lot of people that have no guidance in life, or they don't know what to do with their life, right? What do? They choose the army, right? That's a lot of people, man. A lot of there's nothing wrong with it, but this is the same thing. A lot of people that don't want to put in the hard work, they want to be content creators. They're looking for the easy way out, right? And once you get the taste of the easy way out, like Dante, man, it's crab over a bucket mentality. He ain't care who he's stepping on. He don't care who intimidates, who he grooms, who he gaslights, who he blackmails, who he exploits. It's like a blood diamond plaque, right? If that plaque, if that plaque is even his, and it's a real plaque, 'cause, man, there's a lot of content creators on you. No, I don't watch theirs. I don't watch their shows. Youngblood be texting me, but Youngblood, I think Youngblood has become a messenger. I think Youngblood has become a messenger for both sides, right? I'm talking about I'm talking about other channels, man. I don't watch Dante or June or any of these guys' content. I watch other content creators, man. Nah, man. Youngblood's on y'all's team. Youngblood's on y'all's team, man. It's been compromised. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Come on, man. Y'all think y'all can really pull one over somebody, right? When you set things in motion, they play out the way you want to, especially when you let nature take its course, man. Right? I love it, man. Because by Youngblood being the messenger, he passes on the message, right? Which I wanted all along, right? So y'all don't think, man, that y'all are playing chess, right? because y'all's moves are steps behind. That's why I just chill and kick back, man, because my mind's already set so forward. Y'all are still like going backwards, right? They're just going, they're constantly just going backwards, backwards and backwards and backwards, right? They're constantly going backwards, right? While I'm going constantly forward. I see landmines, I step over them, right? You see, and this is a gang of fools scheming and plotted against one person. All this scheming and plotting to take one man out. Once again, all this scheming and plotting from so many characters for one person. I think I need to start playing that song by 50. Many men wish death pimp. You know what I mean? I think I need to put. I need to start. That needs to be my song. You know what I mean? Many men wish death upon me. Right? So many dudes hate me. Right? For what? For what? I didn't bother nobody. I didn't disrespect anybody. Only person I ever disrespected was Mark. No, that's cool, actually, Jack. Man, it's sad. It's Saturday, man. A lot of people are with their families. I'm just out here burning me one, man. Uh, I don't let this YouTube consume me. YouTube fits into my schedule when I feel like doing it, and when I don't, it's usually when I have time for it, man. I don't make time for YouTube. I fit YouTube into my schedule, right? I don't let it consume me. That shit that it consumed me when I first got on here, and it's not for me, right? I don't I, that's I don't picture myself shooting to be a content creator at 40 something years old, man. I'm happy just living my life. But at the same time, if this guy would have did the right thing, right, I would have probably left out the picture, man. Right? I would have left out the picture. It would have been dead case. No, but what did he have to do? Defend Mark. So when people think that they got the upper hand, they really don't, man. Because it's sad to say, man, that I let things happen, right? I let nature take its course, right? What did I say? The cat leaves and might come out and play, man. So also, man, it's like having a messenger in between. Uh, it fits your purpose. You know what I mean, man? I mean, you got to know when certain situations have been compromised, right? When all these red flags start coming, then you start thinking, "Hey, I think it's been compromised. I think it's been, but you're not too sure because a lot of things, were shown and talked, and it made you kind of doubt your gut feeling at first, right? But then you're like, nah, let it play out a little bit more, and you'll see. And sure enough, man, nature never lets you down, right? Springtime comes, man, you're gonna get them babies. Nature never lets you down, man. You know what you're gonna get with nature. You know you're gonna get rain, cold, and hot. All right. You know what you're gonna get from from nature taking its course. You can prepare yourself for it if you're a smart man. If you have any kind of analytics, analyze, reading plays or even reading people, I can have a conversation with you and I can tell if you're full of shit or not. I can have a few interactions with you and I can tell you if you're full of shit. Not everybody has that gift. It's very far in between, man. And I'm proud of myself. What's going on, Jojo? I'm proud of myself, for having that intuition that you can read plays from a mile away. I guess in my past lives, I must have been a hunter. Because I have that natural instinct of survival, right? By any means. Because you're either gonna be, back then you were either a hunter or a gatherer, right? The gatherer would most likely be with the females picking vegetables, fruits, you know, most likely inside the camp. But the hunter was going outside the camp hunting wild animals. And during that hunt, he might run into an opposition tribe. So back then, I guess you would consider real or fake, right? You were either going to be a gatherer or a hunter to survive. It's a survival instinct, man. That's why a lot of people to this day are scared of the dark, the unknown, right? Because that's our caveman mentality, right? Once we were cavemen, we didn't know before we knew fire. At nighttime, we didn't know what was out there. So that instinct of fear got traveled down our genetics, right? Of being scared of the dark. A lot of people are scared of the dark. I'm not. I love the dark. I can travel dark alleys with no problem. Dark streets, no problem. I feel home. I don't like the spotlight. But these are instincts that are just genetically passed down to you for instinct survival, right? I don't see myself as a gatherer. I see myself as a hunter, right? Not only being successful at hunting and bringing something to the table, being a provider. It's being all around, right? It's all around. The hunter is the protector, the guider, the one that's passing down knowledge down to the younger one. So these instincts get passed down, man. Yeah, see, a lot of people see it does. See, a lot of people feel more comfortable, man. Because it's the mentality of being a hunter or a gatherer, man. That's all there was in the old times. You were either going to be a gatherer or a hunter. And nowadays, is which are you? Are you a leader or are you a follower? And as you can see, it's no different. Back then, there was very few hunters. There was a lot more gatherers, right? Why? Because back then, you would battle test each other. Only the strong, only the strong were able to go out and become a hunter, right? But they would have tryouts amongst each other, right? Sometimes those tryouts would lead to the death to see who would be on the hunter and the protector. Because it comes with a lot of things, man. It comes with being acknowledged, being somebody. But it's sad today, man, that gene, especially in the white guys, has been domesticated. And I say this to the white guys, man, because I read Nordic myth, right? The Vikings and all this, Valhalla, Odin, Thor, the Yule-log, the Norse myth, right? You look at these guys, how they conquered, and there were barbarians and there were savages, and 6 foot tall, 7 foot tall giants, right? Travel the world on ships. And now you look at these white boys being the bottom of the totem pole. It was a privilege to hunt, man. Yeah, only certain people, and that's after you got battle tested and you had to try out amongst your own, man. Not everybody. So back then, you had to prove yourself to be a leader, or you were leadership material. People had to see it in you, right? Nowadays, people like Dante assume that role by intimidation, exploiting, gaslighting, grooming, being deceptive. What happened to being that old warrior mentality, man? By earning it by your own means, right? Or even that old saying, getting it out the mud, getting it on your own without stepping on people, man, exploiting people. People have done it, but it seems the easy way is to exploit. Ain't no different than you're no different than what the white man's ancestors were doing to your ancestors. No different. The only thing that you're doing is you're doing it to your own kind, and that's sad. I guess nobody's really made you realize that, right? That you're no different than what the white man was doing to your ancestors. You're doing it to your own people. For what? What did the white men do it for? The labor and the monetary gain, right? What are you doing it for? You're doing it for the views and the subscribers and the monetary gain. But you're using your own people. Mark, right? Mark is a victim of your boot game. When you want to say, when I tell you to bring me a victim, bring me a victim. I bring you a victim. I'm putting myself, I've never been a victim in life, right? But I have to admit that I am a victim of your boot game, of your social media. Even, even, even when you knew you had not hacked my YouTube account, you reached out to me and said, hey, give me your password and I can help you out. That snake of you, right? What were you going to do? If my dumbass was going to send you the password, what were you going to do? Change the password to keep the account and say, oh man, I tried helping you. That's the snake, right? That's why I have no compassion for you, man. Because even after I said I was going to leave you alone, right? You reached out to me and said, hey, I can help you with your channel, man. Just give me the password, right? So if my dumbass would have gave you the password, you would have controlled my channel. That's the snake you are, right? After you text me and say, hey, you know what, Noel, do your videos. Well, I'm not going to talk about you no more. But if you want me to help you with your hacked account, send me the password. You gotta trust me. You gotta trust me if you want me to help you. So imagine if I would have believed you. Right? Just imagine if I would have believed, and that's you knowing that you did not have my account hacked, right? You were playing off me thinking that my account was hacked. You were playing off of me. I gave you that move. I gave you that play, right? Because I'm a victim of the fucking social media boo game. I have to realize that for once in my life, I've been a victim. Without on me knowingly, right? Because I came at you. I've been a victim many times, right? But I've been a victim in those situations because I put myself in those situations knowingly, right? I put myself in those situations knowingly that I could get robbed and whatnot. I put myself. So that's what comes with the game, right? I knew that that's what what I was doing when I became a victim. I knew what I was doing. I could be a victim because I put myself in those situations, right? Now, when I reached out to Dante, I reached out to Dante like a friend, like a subscriber, somebody that, hey, this guy knows what he's talking about. Maybe he can help me out, whatnot, right? So I didn't reach out to him like a foe. But that tells you his true character, right? An opportunist, exploitative. All he could have said is, you know what, man, your account's good. Just leave it alone. But what did he say? Send me the password. Send me the password and I can help you out with your account. And all you would have done was taken over the control and said, hey, I tried, right? That's how of a deep snake you are, man. So I hope people can realize that you're no different than Mark and when you do the tactics, man. Mark is a victim, and people have seen how you treat Mark, right? Even through Mark deserves every single bit of it, right? Whatever you did to Mark 10 times, hey, Mark can say I can say Mark deserved this shit, right? I can actually I don't feel sorry for what you did to Mark, right? I don't feel sorry what you did to Mark, right? Mark's your victim, I'm your victim, but I didn't do nothing to you. I became your victim of your own, right? I can understand why Mark you did Mark like that, right? Because you don't want to associate yourself with a predator. I wouldn't from the beginning, but you decided that that was the right way for you to go, right? Yeah, and that's why that hero syndrome. That's why I uploaded that part of Mark saying he's even been a Captain Saberhole, right? A white shining knight armor, right? Because it's the same tactics, right? Mark has manipulated guys. Same way with Fleece. Fleece makes these dudes think that he can fuck them up. That without Fleece, they need Fleece. Same way with Mark, right? Mark was running these tactics like, hey, you need me. You go out there, you're gonna get 10 times done worse. Mark, I can understand why you did that to Mark, right? But at the same time, it shows your true nature that you're exploitative of the vulnerable and the weak. Once they step into your environment, right? Because this is your environment. You have consumed yourself with YouTube. This is your life. This is what pays you. This is YouTube is what puts food on the table for you. So I can understand why you would bend over and get on your knees. That's why I say that if you get on your knees and bend over in your world, I guarantee you in Mark's world, you would have been prancing around in homemade panties. I guarantee you. Because if you're bending over and getting on your knees in your world, and it's the world, it's your environment that you control, and you still getting bent over, then that tells me in another apex environment and habitat, you'd be doing the same thing. Yep. But at the same time, that's exploiting the intelligence and manipulation of your subscribers and your audience and the people that pay for your membership. Right? The people that pay for your membership are looking for an authentic content creator, somebody that's really truthful, honest, compassionate, caring, loving. That's why people sign up, right? Memberships. They want to know who you really are. They support you. So you're telling me everybody that supports you is a contradicting little dwarf. Because it's not hard. You can just go back to all your recordings. You can go back to all your videos. This is your world that everything you do gets recorded. Isn't that how you get paid? You see, if you cared about the victims, man, Me, I did this shit for the victims, man. I speak up for the victims. And you know what? It's sad to say, man, that Mark was a victim, right? At a young age by his uncle, right? Mark was a victim at a young age. That doesn't take the fact that makes him that gives him the right to become the apex predator that he became, right? That gives him by no means any right for him to become the apex and take his trauma on somebody else, right? Mark was a victim, man. Just like David Mendenhall was a victim that led to their life forever changing, right? Yep. And that's where it happened, right? That's it's like it's that mentality of I need to get my get back. I need to get my get back by any means. I need to get my get back. Instead of saying, you know what, man, being strong. I know probably being in the environment Mark was is, probably he didn't want to talk about it to anybody. So it created Mark, right? But at the same time, man, you gotta feel kind of sorry for a 9, 10-year-old Mark, right? Because he's a kid, right? It kind of it's kind of fucked up, man. That everybody's a victim, man. Why they could have actually helped a lot of people. You know, all they did, all Mark and Dante did was create victims in the path, man. That's all they did. They created victims. They created people to go against each other, to fight against each other, to bicker and fight. Why everybody should be on the same cause, right? For the victims. Because that is the right thing, right? The right thing is to care about what happens to the victims, man. The people that unknowingly or forcibly you know, get put in predicaments that of their un, not by choice, right? It's like Dante and June have used young blood, right? Knowingly and unwillingly, right? Maybe he knows, maybe he don't know, right? But actions speak louder than words. Actions speak louder than words, right? You can tell me, you can text me this and one other thing, but actions speak louder than words. Yep. What I realize that they don't want to help nobody. Nobody wants to help the next man. Nobody wants to help the next man, man. Even avoiding the next man making a same similar mistake. People are like, man, I'm not gonna help him out if I don't get nothing out of it. What happened to doing good deeds, man? So everybody in this world so rotten that if they don't get nothing back, they won't do anything for anybody, even for a random person. That shit's like what the social media has devastated society, man. It's sad to say. Everybody, wants to be a content creator. Uh, everybody wants to be a Instagram or TikTok model, or it's just sad, man. And it's the sad part about it that just like Mark ain't the only apex predator out there, Dante ain't the only one that's out there, right? Dante's, you could say he's the poster boy for exploiting people for content, right? And you can actually go back to his videos and come back to now, and you can see what I'm talking about. How he exploited Mark, right? That's Mark. Mark is a victim. Either way you want to look at it, Mark is a victim of Dante, right? I'm a victim of Dante's manipulation tactics, right? I'm a victim. So is Mark. And I'm not speaking past tense. I'm speaking presence, right? You know, we're speaking now. We're speaking now. And we're speaking on people. I'm speaking on their actions and their statements. I'm not, you know, pulling cases out of my ass or making false narrative, right? Everything I talk about, it's their actions, their own, their own. You see, they want Youngblood to come over here, right? Because they thought that by having Youngblood over there, that they were going to be able to control the narrative and kick Noel out the mix, right? They thought that, hey, we get Youngblood over here, we can have all the conflict, but we can still control the situation, right? And let's just not pay attention to Noel. Ignore Noel, right? We got Youngblood over here. That's what they were betting on, right? They said Noel's quiet, you know. Let's play. Let's play. Youngblood's over here. Let's switch it over now. We got somebody that was recently considered in opposition. Now he has aligned himself over here. So now we can abort mission and go to plan C, right? What's plan C, Dante? Mark's guilty. Mark's guilty. We're going to have to ride that hard and ride it hard. He's guilty. And so everybody's getting something from Dante, right? A pat on the back, money. I don't know, right? But like how he said, he wanted to pay me $300, right? He wanted to pay me $300. He wanted to pay me $300 to control the narrative of Hips, right? Most likely, if you accept his money, he sends you a contract, right? Or NDA, something that says, hey, for this time being, we're going to work together. You can't work with nobody else, right? And if you can, it's going to be under this speculation. We're going to have to approve it. We're going to have to give you the okay if we see fit, right? Everybody is in cahoots, but I don't blame him, man. You know, I'm not, like I said, I'm the wrong skin tone color, man. I'm always going to be the bad guy, just based off of that, right? I'm the bad guy, even though I'm not gaining nothing monetary. I'm not gaining nothing, right? Other than me feeling like I'm doing my good deed, right? I inserted myself into it, then hey, I might as well see it through. Fuck it. But I'm not getting nothing materialistic, right? All I'm getting is a feeling, hey, I'm doing something what y'all trying to do now, right? Y'all are trying to speak up for the victims now, right? So what's y'all's reason for doing it? Is it to do it for the monetary gain, or what's y'all's guys' reason that all of a sudden y'all want to speak for the victims and marks this, marks that? Because from what I remember, I think when you do it out of your kindness, out of your heart, you don't expect nothing in return. I've never charged anybody to speak their opinion, man. The only person I ever paid was Hips, right? But you got to understand from my point of view, in Hips' point of view, a person like Hips, who wants to come on and say that he was victimized, right? So you have to make somebody like Hips his time worthwhile, right? You got to make him feel like whatever he's going to tell you is worth his time, right? Because he don't know you from nowhere. So I'm expecting Hips to tell me to do the right thing, right? Even through at the same time, it's going to make him look bad. All right. Because who the hell wants to talk about being in prison with Mark, sharing boys, doing the same thing, right? But Mark was the apex predator. Hips was just enjoying the spoils of war, right? As you would say. He was partaking, but I don't think Hips was like the aggressor. I think it was just a big old prison orgy family, right? Everybody getting it in, and hey, it is what it is. Only Mark and Hips can get into detail and really tell the people how the dynamics of their family was, right? Who was called who, what was their role, and gone from there. But no, everybody wanted to pay. They had Big Mooney, they had Cartoon, they had so many people speaking up on the fact that Mark wasn't that type of guy, and that you can't simply base it off doing a hump. You can't basically simp it off Mark walking, and the guy's giving them catwalks with Reba. You can't base it off all this stuff, right? So when you really look at the big picture, Dante and Mark are both cut from the same cloth, man. They're one of a kind. They're both. They both do the same shit, man. Nobody nobody has ever said why they're doing it. And that's what they need to do, man. I would love to see a content with NS, God Soldier, and Youngblood talking about religion. I'm on the fence, man. I'm on the fence, and I don't know which religion I need to be converted to, right? So I'm on the fence, and uh y'all guys seem like y'all real knowledgeable, man, on religion. So hey, maybe y'all can convert somebody. Maybe y'all can convert me, man. Maybe y'all can convert Mark. Who knows? Maybe Mark can hear some wisdom coming out of that religious talk and start it. And I don't know what the Quran got, but maybe the Holy Spirit, you know what I mean? And start it to Mark. Have Mark talking in tongues and telling the truth. Who knows, right? But I would love to see a content like that, right? Because now you're really putting opposites. NS, God Soldier, especially God Soldier, right? They've said some horrendous stuff about Muslims, right? On how they see Muslims, on how they see, and let's just say they don't paint Muslims too good of a picture, right? I've watched a couple of past of their so-called religious when they're talking about religion and the topic of Muslims comes up, and it's not too good, right? They know they never have anything nice to say about Muslims. They don't. They don't. They don't. I would love to see an episode or a video of y'all talking about religion. Talk about some positivity, some real stuff. You know what I mean? Some uh leave all that Photoshop about Mark. If you're gonna bring out, if you really care about the victims, bring Brad out. Let's reach out to Brad and let's see what Brad got to say. If we really care about the victims, right? I've already brought Brad to the pedestal. Brad's there. Let's hear it from a real victim. I don't want to hear it from no photoshopped or fake victims, fake Betty the Cooks, fake Mendehas. I want to hear it from the real victims. Just like you're hearing me that I'm Dante's victim, and you're hearing Mark, right? Complaining, agreeing with everything that I say, right? On the true nature of Dante. So if it sounds, walks, looks, and it must be a duck, right? But I guess people don't live by those common sense anymore, man. You know, it's I can't get over people, man. I can't. And you know, let me tell you something. I hate lying, man. I hate lying because I'm an emotional person, man. I don't like lying. I like being honest, man. Honest. Even through sometimes, man, maybe the sometimes the truth hurts, you know what I mean? But sometimes it's better to tell the truth than tell lies, man. I don't see how people can just run and spin any kind of narrative and run with it, man, and fuck up people's lives. Everything, everything Dante said doesn't bother me, man. What bothered me the most when he knew that he didn't have nothing, he didn't have no hack drive, right? No thumbnail, no or thumb drive, right? He didn't have no hack thumb drive, right? And he inserted my daughter into that conversation, right? Talk about me all you want, bro. It doesn't bother me, right? But once you inserted my daughter into your fucking intimidation, exploitative tactics, you victimized me, man. You victimized my daughter. Ever since that, you can say everything. Everything else you can say doesn't bother me, man, because you don't have no facts, right? That was either neither facts, because you didn't have no hack no hack thumb drive, right? There was nothing hacked, but you still ran the narrative of trying to make me look like a degenerate, throwing my daughter into the mix. Somebody that has nothing to do with the mix, right? Nothing to do with it. Nothing to do on the topic at hand. And you ran with it, right? That's why it bothers me, man. Because you speak false, right? False facts, right? And you run with it. And you make people believe it. So that's why I have made it mine. I have made it what's called a this is it, man. It's just gonna be about you and Dante, Mark and Dante. That's all my content's gonna be. If I get views, no views, I don't care. Right? Because as you can see, I don't make no money off of this. Right? I don't make no money off of it. So everything that I was doing for this, the StreamYard, paying hips, that was coming out of my pocket, right? But you don't mind when you're doing things for the good, right, man? You know, because hey, like I said, if I have a few extra bucks, why not, man? I'm not gonna be able to take it with me, right? And if you can shed light on these characters, on their true character, right? Why not? I do pretty good in the exposing business. I do my homework. I do my research. I do my homework. I don't just talk out my ass, right? I do my homework. I do my research. I find you facts. A fact finder, right? If you really cared about the facts and you were for the victims, let's hear from Brad. Let's hear from the real victims. People are tired of listening to your victims, Dante. People are tired of listening to me, and people are tired of listening to Mark. Even through Mark deserves everything you've dished out to him. I agree. Mark should not get a night of sleep. Right? He shouldn't. Because he knew what he was doing. He shouldn't. It was all fine and dandy when everybody was attacking Noel, right? And I don't care, man. Like I said, you can say anything about me, man. It doesn't bother me, man. But when you insert somebody that has nothing to do with it, that first of all, me being the father and the protector, I would feel like a bitch, right? For not speaking up and standing up for my daughter. For you inserting her into some fucking sick, perverted conversation. But that's the type of person you are, a sick, perverted, degenerate. If you're a bottom boy, you got sons, right? I don't know how bottom boys can raise up sons. I don't know, man. We don't need no more Dantes in the world. So fathers, regardless of race out there, man, step in and be that guidance, be that comfort, be that motivation, be that reassurance that, hey, whatever your kids are doing, they're doing it right, man. Even if they fuck up. Let them be better than you were 10 times. But at the same time, you got to build that foundation for them, man. So you can let them be kids and they can flourish. But a lot of you guys, like Dante, I guarantee he spends no time with his 6 sons. YouTube has consumed him. YouTube is his life. YouTube is not my life, right? YouTube is, you know, I fit YouTube in my life when I'm out wasting time. When I'm out here burning a cigarillo, I'm wasting time, right? It's just time that I'm not going to get back. I'm not doing nothing productive, right? I'd rather be doing something productive, like building a Lego set with my son, playing Fortnite, Call of Duty, spending quality time with my son, right? And I just got one, man. But that's, I got 2, but the other one, he got his own kid. So he's dealing with, what I'm going through, right? Enjoying his son. So I can just imagine, man, if I would have 6 little boys, man, I'd be at the fucking park all day long playing baseball, man. I have a player for every position. I'd be having me a good old time, man. 6 boys, that's a whole baseball squad. First, second, third, catcher, pitcher. And then you got one catching the balls. And everybody switches over. Man, I'm thinking about having a time. And I don't even have 6 kids, man. And all boys. I can just imagine going hunting with all these guys, man. Going into the Detroit wilderness. Instead, they got to go seeing their dad knocking on the door. Dad, can we get our phones back? Can we get our phones back, Dad? It's summertime. But no, you got to be on this account. You got to be on that account. You got to be on this account. All doing negative or positive reinforcement, right? Your tactics, your military mind games. It consumes you daily to where you don't have time for your real life, man. How can you have? How? If you're out with your family, you're probably on the phone. And it has to do something with YouTube. If it's not one of your flunkies reaching out to you or plotting and scheming on how to take the old Mexican out, you're not spending your time productively, man. I am. It don't take nothing but a few minutes to chop up a video and post it. Alive, I do it out here when I'm stressed out, man. I come outside and I walk for a little bit, loosen up my body. get some fresh air, and relieve from all the stress, right? Because it's hard being a parent, man. It's hard being a father. It's hard, right? It sucks that fathers don't get rewarded and acknowledged like mothers do, man. I don't mind, man. I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind, man. I don't mind. Because I'm investing in my son, right? I'm investing in him, right? I'm giving him the quality time. I'm there when he falls. I'm there to give him the reassurance to pick back up and try it again. I'm investing, right? Hopefully that he can be uh, a good, productive citizen, right? To his community. And that's all I can ask for him, right? I'm not asking for my son to be the next big thing or no, I want him to be a contributing citizen to his community. Whichever way he chooses to be in that way, a cop, a doctor, lawyer, whatever it is, man. But it starts with the father, man. And from what I see, you having 6 kids, man, that's like but it's always like that, man. Because there's I guarantee you, man, there's a lot of fathers that can't have babies or sons, and they're dying. They're like, man, this guy has 6 kids and he can't spend time. I can't even have one. You know how many men are out there, man, that are 40, 50 years old and were never blessed to have a son or a daughter? They're just uncles and aunts, right? Because it works for females, vice versa, man. There's a lot of females that can't get pregnant and they can't have that enjoyment of having a child, giving birth, even through if it's C-section or not, right? Or natural birth. They're not gonna experience that privilege. There's a lot of men out here, man, that don't have no seeds to pass on their lineage. You have 6 sons that are gonna carry your name. That's a fucking privilege in itself, man. That's 6 opportunities that fuck, at least one of them is gonna become something. Fuck, man. You got a higher rate of one of them being successful in life, man. And them taking you along with them. But you're not putting in the time in that. You're not investing your time in those 6 kids and those 6 boys you got. Why? Because you're investing your time on characters like Mark Moore, June, Enes, Albiz, Youngblood. You're inserting yourself with these guys, right? Instead of spending your time and investing your time and your money and your productive on your kids. That's what I see in your character of you, Dante. And it's sad, man, because you know what? It's always the kids that pay the price. Even when you wake up, even when you break up with your feet. When I first broke up with my baby mama, my kids paid the price, right? Because my kids love me, right? They didn't see dad, they see mom shack up with dude after dude, right? But I haven't shown my kids that, right? My kids have only known the stepmom as one stepmom, right? For 15, 16 years. I think 17 now, right? I didn't show my daughter, my son, even though I was single, right? I never showed them another woman until I knew this girl was going to be the right one. But now you ask them, they can't name you. They lose count of the guys they've been in their life, right? So that's why I was able to be blessed to get full custody at them at a very young age. Who wants a daughter to be seeing that? Who wants a daughter to be seeing that their mom dating different guys? Who wants that, man? So I had to do my part as a man, right? As a man, what did I want to do? I wanted my kids to be in my life, man. I left the streets alone. I became a 9 to 5. I busted my ass. If they said do 10 units, I did 15 units. I over exceeded. I overproduced. Why? To earn my keep. Why? Because I wanted to be a provider. I knew if I worked everybody else, I was never going to get fired, right? When there was going to be shortages on cuts on positions, they were never going to fire Noel. Why? Noel's on time. Noel over exceeds. Noel keeps to himself. Noel can do 2, 3 jobs, right? So Noel's an asset. I've never been a liability, man. I've never been a liability. So what I teach my sons is not to be a liability, to be an asset, right? And whatever you do, to be an asset. So when things hit the fan and then they let go of people or they just need to, fuck off people, as you would say on the streets, your name's not even thought about, right? It's the same thing, man. The streets taught me a lot, man. It just sucks, man. It's like having 6 boys and not showing them how to be a man. My dad showed, well, both of my parents showed me work ethic, man. And so did Texas prisons, right? Working in the fields for free, that implemented work ethic, right? But my work ethic started at home, man. Having 2 hardworking parents waking up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, putting in 10, 12-hour shifts every day. My mom's still coming home and cooking clean. I seen the work ethic, right? I seen that even through they were sick, they would go to work, right? I seen the work ethic my mom had, right? My daughter has the same work ethic, right? Why? Because before my condition got the best of me, I was a I was an asset to any company, right? If I didn't know it, show me and I pick it up real quick, right? Either being shown or reading books, electronics, plumbing, anything, right? Handyman, right? Why? Because I know doing gigs as far as electronic plumbing pays more than working for somebody on an hourly basis, man. But I didn't know this, right? I had to learn this. So now all I can do is show my sons, be like, hey, it's not good working for somebody, right? It's always good, working for yourself. It's not bad starting off working for somebody, right? But don't be a working man for somebody, man. Find something that you can do, trade, plumbing, air conditioning, anything, man, that you can depend on, and you'll be all right, man. You would be all right. You would make more money working for yourself than you would ever working for a company. Getting paid, even if they pay you $20 an hour, $30 an hour, man, you can go to a job that's going to take you about an hour and get 200-300 bucks, right? It's that easy. So, man, I don't see how these guys, especially having a whole baseball team, not showing the ropes to their kids to become a good contributing, and not leaving it up to the female to raise the kids. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the father has to be there, right? You don't want all your 6 boys to pick up all the females' characteristics, and at the same time, you don't want all your boys to pick up all your slimy, snaky ways, right? So somewhere down the road, Dante has to change deeply inside who he is, man. Because believe it or not, kids mimic our actions, our attitudes. I had to start watching myself, right? As my 7-year-old started getting older, I had to start getting so mad, right? Because he started picking up on it. Like I started realizing that he sees me get mad for something small that he's gonna pick up off of that, man. Right. And he started giving his mom attitude, right? So I kind of like I had to start changing my ways, right? Because I seen that my old ways were affecting my new son, and I didn't want my old ways to affect my new son. My older ways had already affected my older son, right? And I had already seen the outcome of that, right? And I didn't want to repeat the same mistake that I did with my first son with my second one. So what did I do? I changed my ways, man. Right? I'm not completely uh the right man that I want to be, but I will get there one day, right? It's a working process. But I did it not for me, because it was for me. I don't change for anybody, but I love my son, right? I want him to succeed in life. I want him to become something. And that starts at home. That starts with the guidance you give them on how they see you handle situations. If you're not giving them no time of day, man, to actually be their father, a father is just more than just a title, man. I realize that, right? Because, like I said, I got 21 and a 20-year-old, right? I was an old man then. I was an old person, and I was still living totally different mentality than what I have now. So I seen what my older ways were, right? So I'm like, no, I have to change myself. If I want to change my seed, I have to change myself where he can see a different person, right? And I can see that he's a different, totally complete different person than what my older son is, right? My youngest son, he's more open, uh, he's more friendly, right? He's more of a outgoing, more social. My son, my older son, is just like me. You know, he sticks to himself. He does himself one deep. That's just him, right? But I've seen my mistakes that I did as a father on my first son, and I thank God, man, that He blessed me with another opportunity to be a father to another son, to kind of correct my wrongs that I did with the first one, and maybe I can show him how to deal with his son, right? So I I don't know, man. I guess people have to go through certain things in life to see the bigger picture. And I don't think Dante has actually gone through any kind of circumstances to really question himself, right? And really look at yourself in the mirror and be happy in who you see in that reflection. He's not, right? Because that's why he has to create this stomp down military mind persona, right? He has to create this persona. It's not him. I'm happy with being myself, man. I'm happy. Even though some people might be talking shit, I don't care, man. It's just me. You know, this for me is therapeutical, man. It's therapeutical, because I made the mistakes of telling war stories to my oldest son, right? And having older brothers telling him the same shit when he's growing up. So now he's hearing it from three, four, multiple people, right? It influences people's minds, man. So now I don't tell no fucking war stories or stuff that I used to do as a teenager, right? To my little kid. All me and him do is Legos, Fortnite, and chill. Watch Rick and Morty, Bob's Burgers, Family Guy. You know, I do kid shit with them, man. And that's the mistake that I did with my first son, man. That I brought a kid into a man's world, right? By me telling him stories, my brothers telling him this and that, you know, him being around us at a young age, 2, 3 years old, seeing stuff. But I thank God, man. I thank God that He kept me alive. He gave me another reason to come back to earth. And He blessed me another time with another son, man. And I'm grateful for that. And I see this dude, man. I see this dude have the blessings of 6 boys, man. And I'm like, man, I hope you're showing these guys your seeds, man, to be leaders, not to be exploitative and gaslighting and grooming and military mind tactics. If you want them to have military minds, sign them up to the army, man. Push them to West Point or whatnot. Cause that sucks, man. Like If you're the true character of who you are like that, man, on social media, then that's how you are at home, man. It's more than just being a provider, man. You think just because you're out there getting the bacon, that's it? That your job is just to go out there get the bacon by any means necessary, right? Nah, man. I made that mistake with my oldest son, man. You got to sit there and guide these guys, reassure them. You want to be there. So when they fall, you be the first one they look up to and be like, well, what's the next move? All right, man. I'm gonna get back with y'all here in a little bit. I'm gonna go grab me some tacos and I got my wife bugging me. She's like, man, you talking too much. All right, man. Y'all have a good one.